All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to, excuse me, G.W.R. Live, Gonzo's Wrestling Room. Recap show for Warrior Pro Wrestling 10 and AEW Forbidden Door. Both took place this past Sunday. Joined by my dad Tony as normal. We got Marcus Fine in here saying, "Hey, fellas." Kelly
Hey,
Fine says hi. Glenn Richardson says, "What's up?" So we're already got some people in here joining us. So, which one did you want to start with?
I say we start with Warrior Pro first.
Okay.
Do you have the match card for that? I've got the match card
Yeah.
for the other.
Yeah, to kick off the show, you had a pre-show match with Shorty P. Knuckles, Raiden Carter, and Casey Graham Santos.
Yep.
Triple threat. It was a good match to have for the pre-show. It was entertaining.
Yep.
Got the crowd going to get ready to open the show up.
Well, Raiden Carter had beat Shorty P. Knuckles the month before, and Shorty P. Knuckles got his revenge and got the victory in this match. Shorty P. looked real good in the match. Raiden's a very young talent, hasn't had a lot of matches, and also same way with Santos. I don't think I've had a lot of matches. It was a real good match, like you said. I enjoyed it. But Shorty P got a little bit of revenge on Raiden Carter this month.
Then after that, to kick the show off, we had the big contract signing for the main event for next month at Fair Fight for Warrior Pro Wrestling at the Hendricks County Fair. You had Jake Carter and Blake Wright. Blake came out. Of course, the crowd there don't like Blake. They don't. He's part of the black market leader. He's leader of the black market. They do all that. And right now, you got Black Market versus Warrior Pros, and him and Jake Carter have been going at it. Blake really got under old Carter's skin during this segment, and they got the contract signed, and then there was in the main event, whoever's team won got to pick the stipulation for the championship match next month. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit.
Real quick, Chris, I think I know how you feel, but is there anybody better than Blake on the mic in let's go state of Indiana and pro wrestling? Is there anybody better than?
I don't think so. Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
I mean,
Marcus said Shorty P finally won a match.
Yep. But
no, I mean now the people we've seen, not off the top of my head. Jeremy Hadley's pretty good on a mic as well,
and that's why I give Warrior Pro a lot of credit. Going out there and getting the services of Jeremy Hadley and Blake Money Wright to be a part of their shows on a regular basis, pretty much regular basis.
Marcus
You
Fight
know,
said Jeremy Hadley as well.
you got two of the best in the state of Indiana, probably two of the best in the Midwest, a part of your shows. And you know, when you got people that can be on the mic, I give Unbreakable a little bit of credit. I haven't seen him a lot on the mic. He's real good in the ring, but I thought he did a pretty good job too.
Yes, I did.
And again, we haven't seen him do a lot of promo work, or at least we haven't. At least I'm not saying he hasn't at other places, but we haven't seen a lot of it. So I thought it was a real good segment. It helped. It was good because you had that and just flowed through the show and the way the show ended. So the show had a flow to it because of that opening segment. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a good segment, real entertaining. I thought both guys done a great job in it. Then after that, we had our first match of the show with Jeremy Hadley, who we just mentioned, versus Buck Sexton. Uh, Hadley's been in the mood, I would say.
He's had
He
a little bit of,
had to do dishes. Had to do dishes last week or last month at the Kickstand Bar and Grill. They came out at the beginning there, and looked like the guy from the owner of Kickstand and some of his buddies was going to do some damage to Hadley.
yep.
But Buck ended up coming out for the match. I thought it was a solid match to start the show off with.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and we had a big surprise during the match, and like I said, it was a strong segment. I enjoyed it a lot. You had again the guy that used to come out and commentate with us,
Jesse Winchester.
Jesse Winchester, and he was underneath where we were set up on the platform that we were set up to our announce table. He was underneath there. I don't know how long he'd been underneath there. I always thought he was kind of a anyway. He may have been underneath for a few days. I don't know, but he came out and got involved in the match with the referee not seeing, and Hadley got the victory. And now it looks maybe like a new alliance with Hadley and Jesse Winchester, and Jesse Winchester's better half. So
Yeah, and tell you what, with Winchester and Hadley together could be a pretty strong alliance as well. They could do some damage at Warrior Pro.
Most definitely.
Because we just was talking about how good Hadley was on the mic, but he's just as good in the ring as well.
Solid in the ring, and we haven't seen Winchester a whole lot in the ring because he was injured. But I know him and his better half are dangerous, a dangerous alliance themselves. So now you add Hadley into that mix, and however that's going to be, it could cause some problems for Buck, and Buck has enough problems as it is just dealing with the black market. Now he's got added problems. So
yeah,
it's going to be very interesting.
I think Hadley said that Winchester was his vice president.
Yep, that's what he said. Like I said.
Dude, man, I love watching him, and it starts from the time he walks into the building. It's crazy, but yeah, I love talking to him. I think he's entertaining as hell.
One of the best in the state of Indiana. There's no doubt about that.
And then after the Hadley and Buck match, we got to see a new team we hadn't seen yet, Silverado Party versus the Nightmare on Main Street. Nightmare on Main Street was just Myers and Wild because Jackson Morgan wasn't there. I thought it was a good match. I was entertained. It was my first time seeing that other tag team. I thought they'd done a good job trying to get the crowd involved and everything. So I was entertained. I thought it was a solid tag team match.
Yeah, the one guy from the party, he was a big, strong guy, and I think we had seen him once before, as a part of another team.
I think so.
Thought. But yeah, it was a good match. I enjoyed it. Again, the show was a really good show. Had some entertaining stuff. Had a lot of good storyline stuff. That's one thing I like about World Pro. They're trying to be a lot of storyline, and that's not easy to do when you're a monthly show, especially. And I think they're doing a real good job of it. And building into their next big show coming up on the 23rd of July, a Saturday night fair fight during I think the Hendricks County Fair. Is
Yes.
that right?
Yes.
I mean, they did a really good job of building into that, and I'm excited to see what all the matches are going to be. We know a couple of things, but to see what other matches are going to be on the show, because I think it's going to be a great show.
Oh, yeah, I do too. And I thought they done a good job at this show building up for that show.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic job.
Then after that, you had the women's championship match with Ava Lee challenging Big Alice Crowley.
Yeah.
I thought it was a real good match. Crowley retained.
Yeah,
You know how I feel. You know how I feel about Crowley.
Yeah.
Oh, I told you Sunday night when we was watching AEW, she's good enough to be on. She's good enough to be on there. But in that match, you also had something happen after that match when Crowley and Kate Parrish got into it.
Yes.
And now they're going to have a match next month.
And I know I haven't seen Kate Parrish wrestle before. I don't know if she's had a lot of matches, but with her mind, she's got a devious mind, no doubt about it. She's very smart. I think she's going to be a threat to Alice Crowley. I mean, I know how good Crowley is in the ring. In my opinion, probably as good as anybody in the state of Indiana and one of the best in the Midwest. I think she'll have her hands full. She better be prepared, because who knows, what
Yeah.
Parrish is going to do. Real quick, I did want to say I hadn't seen Ava Lee wrestle before, and I don't think she's had a lot of matches. I really don't know a lot about her, but I thought she performed really well, and I thought it was real solid in her performance during the show. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match.
I know that wasn't the plan, going in. That they had a couple other matches set up and things. Things happen, injuries and different things happen, and she stepped up, and I thought she did a good job.
Marcus Fine said he don't think Kate has ever wrestled.
Okay, yeah, she may not have.
Well, she's picked a hell of an opponent to go against for your first match, because we've seen Crowley wrestle all kinds of people, and it's crazy.
Yeah, men, women. She. But I have confidence. Not that I'm a huge fan necessarily of Parrish, but I've got confidence that she will have a plan and will be prepared.
And then Marcus also said Ava Lee is a Basher trainee.
Okay.
Well, tell you what, there's a lot of great talent in the state of Indiana that have been Basher trainees.
Basher trained or
and now Owens and Omen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, of course, we don't see every show, but when we see a lot of posters for shows, even if we don't go, most shows have either Basher or Owens trained people on it. Some shows dominated. I mean, and that speaks for how good of training and how good of the Basher was, and how good Owens and Omen and those guys are over there. So you see the talent. It's all over the place in the state of Indiana, and we see them going to other places, Michigan and Kentucky and Ohio and Illinois. So.
Yep. Then after that, Braden Lee came out and talked. He was going to have a match in that, but unfortunately, due to an injury, he couldn't compete this month. But said he's going to be at the fair fight on the July 23rd, and there's that's going to be a ladder match, right?
Yeah, he's going to be one of the. I think there's going to be 6, if I remember correctly. He's going to be one of the 6 competitors. I was disappointed. I was really excited to see Brayton Lee. We have seen Brayton Lee before, but it was in high school wrestling. Yeah. So I've never seen him live in person in pro wrestling. I know he's been at Impact. He's been at AEW. I think on Dark and some of that stuff. And, I think he's done some Game Changer wrestling stuff. So he's been around, and he's very well built. I was excited to see him, so I'm going to be excited to see him. And he's from Danville, so he's going to be a fan favorite. And I'm excited to see him in that ladder match at the fair fight.
Oh yeah, I am too, because like you said, we've seen him in amateur wrestling. We've never seen him in the pro wrestling. And then you had a match which I thought was right up there as one of the better matches on the show You had Carson Drake, who was our first time seeing him against Jordan James,
Yep.
and I'm a big Jordan James fan as well. I thought this was a real strong match and uh, real entertaining. They did a good job of getting the crowd into it. They both of them worked the crowd. I thought worked the crowd real well. It was our first time seeing Drake. I was impressed. Thought he had a good gimmick. He was all in on it, and he was
Great.
able to get reaction from the crowd. So
Yeah. Great.
I thought it was one of the more. I thought it was right up there with the match of the show myself. I thought it was a
Yeah,
real
for
solid
me,
match.
yeah, I was gonna say for me, it was the match of the show. It was what I liked the best. Of course, I'm a huge Jordan James fan, but I was really, you said his name's Carson Drake.
Yes.
I was hugely impressed with him. His selling, the way he got the crowd into it, I thought he was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. First time ever seeing the guy, never heard of him before, but I thought he was fantastic.
And he
Uh,
has a good build too.
yep.
He has a good look to him. I really enjoyed that match. And
Yeah, he was very
you
solid
know
all the way
what
around.
I think of Jordan James. I think Jordan James is one of the best
Yeah,
around.
he's one of our favorites. One of our favorites. So yeah, but yeah, I was really impressed with. I guess he's from the Cincinnati area, from what I hear. Hopefully, he keeps coming back because I think he'll add a lot to Warrior Pro. So hopefully, they can get him booked some more. But yeah, he was very good match.
And then after that, you had Fireball versus Jared Kripke. This was another good match on the card as well, and Fireball picked up a big win.
I wouldn't say it's an upset, but I haven't seen, but because I know Fireball's a big, strong guy. So and Kripke's not a huge guy. So I'm not gonna say it's an upset, but we haven't seen Kripke lose very many matches. You know,
Uh,
we've seen a lot of Kripke matches, and Fireball got the victory and pretty, I won't say dominant, but it was definitely a clean pinfall. So I'll be interested to see maybe a feud out of this. I wouldn't mind seeing them two go at it again because Kripke has got a heart as big as anybody and wrestling in this area. So I would definitely, I don't think Kripke's going to take that line down. So I think he's going to want revenge. So that would be interesting to see what happens there.
oh yeah, I agree. Big fan of Kripke's as well. He's wrestling all over the place. I'm real excited for him for the opportunity he's had this summer with OVW. That he's been on tour with them all summer. That's pretty awesome.
Yep. Yep.
Uh,
I,
and Fireball, we hadn't seen him much, but I'll tell you what, he's a big, impressive guy. Moves good for a bigger man. I was impressed with him.
yeah.
Like I said, I
So
think that was only like the second time we had seen him.
second time that I had seen him, and then I have been noticing lately on some posters and stuff. He's been wrestling. I've noticed his name a little bit more.
Yeah,
So
he's starting to get out there more. It seems like, which is a good thing.
yep,
And then we get to the main event. This is where some things really got interesting. You had Jake Carter and Ruthless Domination, excuse me, and against the Black Market. So it was it was supposed to be a 4-on-4.
yep,
Because it was supposed to be Jake Carter, Ruthless Domination, and DNA.
yep.
Well, DNA got attacked by the Black Market and wasn't able to come out for the match, so it ended up being a 4-on-3 elimination style match. It was a good match. I thought everybody in the match done a great job. You get down, you got it to where it was Jake Carter versus was all 4 or 3.
I think I want to say four. That could have been three, but I want to say it was four. And
And
Carter did a great job of coming back and getting it down to 1-on-1 with Blake Money Wright. And then to me, it was a huge surprise that the fact that what happened next.
I was surprised that Blake took his title, walked up the stage, and took the count out because the stipulation in this match was whoever won or whoever's team won, that guy got to pick the stipulation for the match at the fair fight.
Yep.
So he took the count out. So then that means Jake Carter gets to pick the stipulation. Well, Jake Carter told him, he goes, at the fair fight, there's going to be nowhere to run because it's going to be me and you inside a steel cage. I'll tell you what, I'm excited for this match because both these guys, in my opinion, are two of the better guys in the state of Indiana as well. Carter's real solid. We already talked about how good Blake was. And I think them two are going to put on one hell of a show inside a cage at that fair
Oh
fight
yeah,
on the
oh
23rd.
yeah, yeah. I'm excited for it. I think the crowd's gonna love it. It's gonna be hard hitting. Uh, Again, we know the performers both guys are. So I mean, I look for a top notch match. It's going to be interesting. Can Blake come up with some kind of game plan? I know he's got a steel cage, and I know it's to keep the black market out. But the black market is devious. So if I'm Carter, you don't get too, even though the steel cage is up there, you can't get too confident and too comfortable because they're always going to have probably a backup plan of some kind. So he's got to be prepared. But yeah, I think right there you got that cage match. You're going to have a 6-person, I believe, if I remember correctly, a ladder match to get the new number one contender, and we know we got a women's match for the title. So there's 3 huge matches that's going to be on that show, and I know it's going to get, and I know that
And
they're going.
you got to think that JB and Logan Myers will probably be defending their tag titles.
Yep,
You would
and
say
yeah,
Dutch Boy will probably be defending the Warrior Pride title.
yep.
You would
I
think
would say
so.
so.
So right there, that puts you up to 5 matches right there.
Yeah, and 4 title matches and a number one contenders match, and then who knows what other surprises they may throw in there. Buck and him do a great job. Him and his team do a great job of putting on a show. I've been impressed. It seems like every month we go, he's trying something new, trying to make things better, and it's not a ego thing. If he tries something and don't work, he'll change it. And he tries very hard to give a crowd a good show, and I think they're doing a real good job. I can see the progression from the first time that we went
Oh, yes.
to now. You know, some shows we went to some shows before, and it's pretty much the same. I'm not saying it's bad, but I mean, it's the same thing
Yeah.
every time, but or the same setup and everything, pretty much every time. But uh, he's doing a real good job.
Oh yeah. I have nothing but good things to say about Warrior Pro. They've treated us great, and every time we go there, I've had a good time. Uh, shows have been real entertaining. The crowd gets into the shows. I'll tell you what, that crowd Sunday was one of the louder crowds
Yep.
uh, I heard it. I mean, it was loud in there, and it was a fun atmosphere.
You had a nice crowd, especially you're competing with summertime, and I think the peak times for independent wrestling is probably more September or October to February or March, when it's still cold
Yeah,
and not real nice out. When it gets nice out, it's a little bit tougher. But doing a good job, doing a real good job of getting in the crowd and holding the crowd and seeing some new faces come in. You see a lot of the regulars, but and plus they do a good job of giving back to the community. They're community oriented also, and I like that. That's one of the reasons here in Muncie we're such big fans of DCCW. Because of the way they are. Well, Buck and them do a good job of that too. So.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, I thought it was a real good show. Had a blast, and I'm looking. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really looking forward to July 23rd for the Warrior
Yeah.
Pro Wrestling fair fight. It's on a
Oh,
this show's on a Saturday. Usually they're on Sundays. This will be their only Saturday show. It's going to be going on as the Hendricks County Fair is going on.
yeah.
Uh, should be a great time. I highly recommend if you are looking for something to do that weekend, go to Danville and give it a shot.
Yeah, go to the fair, and I'm sure it's probably a nice fair. I know the facility, the fairgrounds looks really nice, so I'm sure it's a good fair. And then you've got the wrestling show too, so I think it's going to be a nice time for the families to go too. So definitely recommend it, and definitely recommend the wrestling. Definitely.
Oh yeah, I do too. Well, do you have anything else before we
The
move
only
on?
just one thing real quick. One thing I am excited for because it is outdoor show. We've we've got to do one outdoor show that we did live and then another one we attended, and they're fabulous. So
Yeah,
they're cool, a little bit different, than being inside, or but this may not be outdoor. This may be it may be in a different building, but
yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna be a good atmosphere. It's gonna be cool. So definitely, hopefully the fans show up and are excited because I think it's gonna be a great show.
Yeah, and I think I'm expecting them for them to have pretty good sized crowd as well. So
I hope
I
so.
think it's going to be a real fun show to be at.
Yep. I know they're excited. They've been looking forward to it, so I know they're excited and pumped up for it.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, you want to go move on to the AEW?
Yep, yep. We go on to that show that was this past Sunday, Forbidden Door. I didn't know what to expect going in. I mean, well, I told you I thought it'd be a good wrestling show because there was a lot of good wrestlers on it. But the build up to it coming in wasn't the best. They had a ton of injuries, people sick on both sides, on New Japan and on AEW side. But it ended up being a real good show. It started off with the first match uh, uh, on the main show was Jericho, and Sammy Guevara, and Suzuki going against Eddie Kingston, Yuta, and Umino. And I tell you what, that match almost stole the show.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, they put on a hell of a show to open to kick that hell of a match to kick that show off with. Actually, that it was my favorite match of the night, and I mean, and a lot of it was because of Suzuki and Kingston. Suzuki and Kingston both were just I thought were phenomenal in that match. Don't get me
everybody,
wrong, everybody in the match was great, but them two I thought were just
they they
phenomenal.
they
And
kind of stole the show. Yeah, I agree.
but it no, and and I thought this I thought this was a real good match. I thought AEW done the right. They picked the right match to start the show off with.
Yeah, and we both didn't know when they first did it, but I know Bully Ray always says, you want to kick off your show with something big and something great, and end your show with something big and great. And I think they did a real good job here. Yeah, it wasn't my number one match. It was really close. I'll be honest with you. I've been going. I got my top 5 matches down, and I keep going back and forth for the Jericho match and another match being 2 or 3 because I had another match won, and I keep changing it because it was so good. So, uh, but yeah, it was real good. The match was won by Jericho and Guevara and Suzuki, but it was a really good match. The second matchup was the match for the Ring of Honor and IWGP tag team titles. Match featured FTR versus Jeff Cobb versus Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan and Beretta and Romero. So that was a 3-way tag match. Another real strong match. I
Yeah,
mean, really good, really well put together. I don't know if the one gentleman, I get him confused, but one of the guys got hurt from FTR. I don't know if it was part of the match or he was legitimately hurt. I think he did. I think he pulled a shoulder or something, and they walked him back and they taped him up and he came back and he wrestled. But it was really good. It was match was won by FTR, so now they have the IGP titles, the Ring of Honor titles, and the AAA titles. So they got 3 belts and are pretty dominant in professional wrestling right now. FTR is one of the best tag teams in the world, if not the best. So, but I thought Cobb and Khan performed really well. I liked Great O'Khan because he reminded me a little bit of a old time wrestler, Killer Khan, that wrestled back in the I think maybe as early in the '60s, late '60s, but I know I've seen him in the '70s and early '80s. So, uh, and Beretta and Romero was solid, so I felt real good match.
yeah, I thought
Uh,
it was a real good match as well. It was actually a little bit better than what I thought it was going. What I was expecting from it. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Next up, we had the All Atlantic Championship match. Had 4 competitors in Fatal 4-Way. We had Pac, Miro, Malachi Black, and Chuck Connors, which I didn't know anything about Connors coming in. Uh, I tell you what, it was a really good match, and the way it was booked and the way it ended up, that the crowd at first didn't care anything about Connors. They were even kind of booing him and making fun of him because he was getting dominated a lot part of the match, and then he started getting some offense, and the next thing you know, he was almost a fan favorite in the match. And I thought the match was really well put together. Uh, all 4 guys got to show some stuff, and we talked during the match, who needed the championship. I mean, a lot of people thought Miro because, well, I didn't think Miro needed it, but a lot of people thought Miro would win. I don't think Miro needs a championship. I thought Black, who had been, I don't want to say stale, but he got off to a real good start and then been kind of on the back burner a little bit and kind of treading water. I thought he could have maybe used the belt. And Pac, who's one of the best in AEW, he's had some issues too. He got over in England and COVID came up and travel issues and different things. He was kind of treading water a little bit, and Pat got the win and another really really good match. I really enjoyed it and thought it was real solid.
Yeah, no, it was a real good match, and the match was booked perfect because at the beginning we were talking about how the one guy, the Connors.
Yep.
Yeah, we were talking about him, how he hadn't had no offense the whole time or whatever, and then he exploded, and that crowd went crazy when he exploded on offense. So I thought the match was booked real good, and I thought it was a real strong match.
So just a little bit backstory. Connors wasn't supposed to be in the match. He had lost in a tournament to see who got to represent New Japan in the tournament and for this championship. And Connors got beat in the championship match at that tournament. Well, then that person got hurt, ended up hurting their knee, so they sent Connors. And Connors did a good job, did a real good job. The next match on the show was Darby Allin, Sting, and guy they call the Dragon, but I seen that his name is Shingo, and they took on the Young Bucks and El Fantasmo, and pretty good match. Wasn't one of my, I mean, not that it was a bad match. I thought it was solid. It wasn't one of my favorites. One of them in my top five. But Darby Allin and Sting and them got the victory. Pretty solid match. What'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid match. Yeah, it wasn't up there with my favorites, but it wasn't by no means a bad match. I mean, it was just a couple of the other matches on the card I thought were a little more solid.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, about halfway through the show, we had the women's AEW championship on the line. Toni Storm taking on Thunder Rosa, the champion. I thought it was a pretty good match. I enjoyed it. It wasn't in my top five, but it wasn't because it wasn't a good match. I thought it was a pretty solid, really well put together match, well wrestled. Personally, I thought it would have been a good time to give Storm the championship and build up a big feud. I think that the women's division could use a spark, and I thought maybe that could do it. If you put them in a big couple 2 or 3 month feud, but
Yeah,
I think they're going a different direction. But I like Thunder Rosa. I think she's really good, so she got the victory. Match number 6 on the show, we had a very interesting matchup. Orange Cassidy taking on Will Ospreay. And I know Bully Ray thought this was the match of the show. I listened to him yesterday. He thought it was a match of the show. It's the one of the matches that I have at 2 or 3. I've had a hard time deciding between Jericho's match and that match. It was a fantastic match.
oh yeah,
Ospreay is one of the best in the world. There's no doubt about it. And Orange Cassidy put on and he's done this a couple times before, proved that he can really go. But crowd loved it. Thought it was a great match. And some people thought it was Orange Cassidy's coming out party. I think he's already came out. I think was it a great performance? Yes. But he's had a couple of really good performances also prior to this. But really, really, really strong match. And if somebody told me this was their favorite match or the best match on the card, I couldn't argue with them. It wasn't mine, but it was right there.
yeah. It was one of the top 2 or 3 matches on the card. That was the first time I'd seen that Osprey, and I was impressed. That dude can really go. And Orange Cassidy really, I thought, really stepped up because he was real solid in that match as well. For me, it was probably either my second or third favorite match on the
Yep.
card.
And as far as the crowd was as loud for that match as any match. They
Yep.
really were. The crowd was into it. Chicago crowd's great anyway, so I think they picked the right place to be. Um, Match number 7 on the show was Claudio Castagnoli, formerly Cesaro, making his AEW debut as the surprise wrestler, taking Bryan Danielson's place against Zack Sabre Jr. I love the match. I loved everything about it. It was my match of the night for me. Um, it was just fantastic. I love the way Zack Sabre Jr. wrestles. I like everything he does, the way he flows. He's got that long build. And I thought Castagnoli, he ain't wrestled in a while. I hadn't been in a match for a while. Didn't show a lot of rust. I didn't see any rust on him. Now, did I think he was breathing hard a few times? Yeah, but it was a long match, and it was a tough match. But yeah, I thought for me it was my match of the night. I know it was probably top 2 or 3 for you, but for me it was the match of the night, and just thought it was great.
It was my second favorite match. It was an awesome match. I just like the Jericho match at the beginning just a little bit more, but they were
Yep.
it was a great match, and I thought Claudio looked great, and that guy he wrestled, that dude, hey, that dude can go. His style is a little different, but it's a cool style. I really enjoyed watching them. They put on a show, and
And I may
the fans were loving it.
and I may piss some people off, and I surely don't mean to, because I think Claudio Castagnoli is fantastic. Okay, thought it was a fantastic match. It was my favorite match, but I would love to see Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. go at it.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the match that they could have had?
Oh yeah.
So hopefully down the road we get to see that. I hope.
Yeah. I hope so as well. But I thought Claudio looked great, especially
Yep.
for having the time off. It was, like I said, it was my second favorite match of the show, but it was right up there for match of the show.
Yep. Next up, match number 8, we had Jay White, Adam Cole, Adam Page, and Okada going for the New Japan Wrestling Championship title. Pretty good match. I thought all 4 guys looked great. Had a little wonky finish at the end, but we don't know what happened. I think Adam Cole got hurt, and the pin just kind of happened abruptly. But I don't want to put it down, because I thought it still was a solid match. That was a real good match. Didn't make my top 5, and it was a really good match. I tell you how good of a show it was. But I said before during the show, Jay White has never really been one of my favorites. Not that he's not good. Okada's fantastic. Adam Page, I think, should be highly more regarded than what he is. I don't think he gets enough credit, and I think Adam Cole's very good, but I think he's had a few struggles in AEW compared to what he was in NXT. So it was a solid match. And Jay White got the victory over Adam Cole.
Yeah, it was a real solid match. The end getting messed up, and it wasn't nobody's fault. But with it getting messed up a little bit, I think that kind of is what brought that match down a little bit. But it was a real solid match.
Yep. Match number 9 was for the interim AEW championship, featuring from New Japan, Tanahashi and Jon Moxley. Thought it was a real good match. There was one thing in the match that I didn't understand, and again, people may get mad, and even Billy Ray brought it up. Why we needed blood, because there really wasn't a blood feud. And the thing that he brought up that I didn't think about was he asked Dave LaGreca, said, "How did he get cut open?" And he said, "Well, kicks to the head." He said, "What do you mean kicks to the head?" He said, "How is Tanahashi's kick to the head going to cut him open?" And he said, "Why didn't he take him outside the ring and drive him into the steel post or something?"
Shinsuke should go back to New Japan.
I think Shinsuke is pretty comfortable making a lot of money here.
What's going on, Rob? Glad to see you on here.
But I didn't understand that part of the match, but it was still a real good match. I think Moxley just likes to bleed. I think Moxley wants to bleed as much as possible. I think, but
I agree with you.
it was a real good match. Now I've heard some controversy on what happened after the match with Jericho and his group coming out. I think they're trying to sell the show for Wednesday night.
Yep.
And that's what Bully said. Bully didn't like it. He thought it shouldn't have happened, but he said he understood that AEW's ratings have not been what they had hoped. The last couple weeks, they were down to about 750,000 one show, and I think we're up like 870 or 880. But of course, all the wrestling's been going against competition with NBA and NHL, so that can make a difference too. So I think you're just trying to sell blood and guts, that match you got coming up on Wednesday night, and that's why they did it. I also understood Billy Ray's take. You got this almost not once in a lifetime show, because it's been done before, but it hasn't been done a lot, New Japan and AEW. First time for AEW and New Japan. But maybe end the show with them two in the ring, feel good moment. I see what Bully is saying, but I also understand the other end too. Thought it was a good match. It did. I had it as number 5 on my top 5.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. It had been probably about probably the fourth in my top 5.
Yeah. On mine, I had the Castagnoli Sabre match 1. I gotta make a decision. I'm gonna go to uh, because of Kingston and Suzuki. I'm gonna go with that match. The first match of the night is my number 2. Number 3, I'm gonna go Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay. My 4th match was the tag team match for the championship with FTR and them, and my 5th match was John Moxley and Tanahashi. That was my top 5.
Yeah, I will say this. This was in my opinion, the best pay-per-view that AEW's put on. That I've watched. It was
It was
it was
my favorite.
it was a solid show. It was way better than their last pay-per-view. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
trying to piss people off, but it was way better than their last pay-per-view. They
yeah.
you have to tip your hat off to Khan for with all the injuries and doing 2 promotions together like that for them that show to come out as good as it did. Uh, I mean, they ought to be AEW ought to be proud of the
Oh
way
yeah,
it came
great,
out.
great, fantastic show. For anybody to say that was not a good show, and I don't care if you're an AEW guy, WWE guy, uh, New Japan guy, whatever you are, uh, I think you're full of shit. And I'll say that same thing about the route. And I've seen some AEW people talk about trying to compare this to WrestleMania and saying that WrestleMania was shit. Anybody thinks that last WrestleMania was shit, they're full of shit, because that
Yeah.
last WrestleMania was very good, just like this AEW was very good. I give both of them 9s, and but preferably I've been more of a WWE guy, and I like the WWE show just a little bit better because of so much different entertainment and spectacle that is. But that's not taking anything away from this show. I thought this show was fantastic. Probably one of the best pure wrestling shows I've ever seen ever. So I mean, it was really good.
Yeah, it was really good. If somebody hasn't seen it, I recommend going and watch. I go back and watch it. It was a really good show. Um, we will have a big interview on Thursday as a owner of Thunder Blunder. Walter Buckley will be joining us Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern to talk about the big Thunder Blunder 3 coming up this Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. at 1151 West Kentucky Avenue, Indianapolis at the Dove. He's put together a great card for it. I'm not gonna go all the way into the card. I'll let him do that on Thursday. But
and I won't give everything away, but he's added some stuff. I mean, I think we're
yeah,
going to have a car show and food trucks and
yeah.
a lot of stuff going on that day. So we'll let him tell more about it because he's got more information about it on our interview on Thursday. But yeah, of course, I know you've got prior commitments, or we'd be doing the show, and I'm gonna be
Yeah.
out of town in Chicago. But yeah, I can't put that show over enough. It'll be really, really good, and hopefully the fans will go check it out on July 2nd.
Well, before we get off here, do you have anything else?
Yeah, we've got something else Thursday night too.
Yeah, Thursday night we're going to do the watch along for the Game Changer Wrestling. There's quite a few Indiana wrestlers that are going to be on there. Dale Patricks, Shane Mercer, Cole Radrick, Hoodfoot.
Yep.
So I mean, there's a lot of Indiana talent going to be on it. So hey, if
And
you
it's
can
gonna
watch
be-
it, recommend checking it out.
Yeah, it's on. We can get off Fight TV. I don't think it's real expensive, uh, and it's going to be some death match stuff. So you need to know that. Be aware of that. It's going to be some death match. Not all of it's going to be death match. There'll be some real good wrestling on the show also. But yeah, I'm excited for that. Check that out, and for you to see it too. So. Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and announce this on July 5th. We will have Cecil Cerveza will be joining us July 5th at 6 p.m. Eastern. So we'll have Cecil on next week. Looking forward to
Yep.
that as well. And I'm working on a couple other interviews. We'll announce them as we get them booked.
Yep.
You have anything else?
No, I don't, man. We had a lot of good wrestling this past weekend. I know that.
Oh yeah. Oh, Sunday we got to watch two great shows. I mean, it was a great day of wrestling on Sunday. Like I said, big shout out to Warrior Pro for having us. I love going down there. It's always a good time. The setup just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, get
So
real quick. Give a shout out. Shout out. I know we've got a big show, and I'll just give a shout out so people can look out for it and maybe want to go to it. July 10th, we've got the show in Greenfield,
yes,
Summit Pro on the 16th, Kokomo. That's AACW. They do a fantastic job, old school wrestling. You might want to consider that. Check that out. And of course, the 23rd, that Saturday, we'll be at the Hendricks County Fair for that fair fight for World Pro Wrestling. So there's 3 great independent shows that you can go check out, and not real far away. Kokomo from where we're at, Muncie is about an hour away. Danville's about an hour and a half, hour 20 minutes, and Greenfield's maybe an hour. So I mean, 45, 50 minutes. So place is not long ways away, and great entertainment. You're looking at $10-15. So definitely check out those shows.
Money in the Bank is also this weekend.
I'm gonna try to watch it, but it may be a thing I get to watch Tuesday because I'm gonna be in Chicago with my grandkids busy. So, but yeah, it's Tuesday. I'm looking. I think the Money in the Bank's gonna be good. I think that again, I think they're building up the mid card, trying to build up the mid card, and they're basically using the 2 Money in the Bank matches. I don't have no idea who's gonna win the women's match, and I've been interested to see who's gonna win the men's match. I think it'll be Seth Rollins or Rick.
Yeah. All right. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Join us Thursday. We got 2 big shows on Thursday. Interview with Walter Buckley at 6, and then the Game Changer Wrestling at 7:30. We appreciate all the support. Please like and subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's where we post everything about the shows is on social media. But I want to thank everybody for joining us, and we will see you guys hopefully. Oh, well, hopefully tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern for Easy Money, a sports betting show. And we also have GSR Gonzo Sports Room tomorrow night at 11. Also, we'll have a special guest on there tomorrow night as the sports judge, Jonathan Mathis, is going to join me tomorrow night. So make sure you join us for GSR tomorrow at 11. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and we will see you guys next time.
Have a good night.